Here's to the Right Music channel. Welcome to the Wednesday Hump, our live stream that we do every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you so much for taking the time to show up. Welcome to Frederick Rogers, Ben Allmark. Thank you guys for showing up. I do appreciate seeing you in the live stream. And if you're watching this live now, or if you're going to catch this in the rerun, I want to let you know, as I always do, I always start out by saying how much I do appreciate it, and I really, truly do. So thank you so much for doing that. I was running a little late here. Do I need to make adjustments to my lights? No, looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll go with that. How's everybody doing out there? I'm gonna be frank with you guys. Mickey in the house. How you doing, sir? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Around 7 p.m. or maybe 6 p.m., I'm sitting on my couch thinking about, okay, what am I gonna make for dinner? What am I gonna Michael Watson in the house, dinner on the house. Welcome to you all. And then I said, oh crap, I've got a live stream tonight. I had because it just seemed because of the holiday, because we had Monday off, and it just seemed, too short of a time. It was like, really? It's Wednesday already? And so I didn't really prepare anything. So I'm sitting there on the couch, oh crap, I've got to come up with a topic for tonight to talk about. And there was one thing that it was worth talking about. I don't know if I can stretch it into an hour, but there's other things to talk about. Usually, as you know, since we do live streams twice a week here on the Upstairs to the Right Music channel, on these live streams, I try to keep it to one topic and not jump around a little bit too much, but we're going to be jumping today. Like a jumping beam. We're going to be jumping today. So where to start? Yeah, as I told you guys, my main camera needs to be sent off to get repaired. I can't fix it. Whatever that thing is with the spring they're saying that's causing that malfunction, I can't seem to do anything about it. So that means I have to send it off to a shop to get repaired. And as you know, I have a secondary camera, which I use for the unboxing video. Wasn't really super happy with the video quality on that, but it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was serviceable. The audio is the problem because that camera has no leads to run any kind of external microphone. So that's its one drawback. But I had decided I got an all I got when you sign up to Temu. By the way, I didn't delete their app. Every now and then, when I'm just sitting there amusing myself, I like to open up the Temu app and see what kind of music gear they're selling on there. Just keep myself amused. And I came across an offer that they gave me. And I know I said I wasn't going to dip my toe into Temu anymore, but I figured, well, maybe this will be a cheap enough option where while I'm waiting for however long it's going to take for my main camera to get repaired, I can use this one instead. And I had still a little bit of store credit and or coupons or discounts or whatever it is they offer. So I decided to buy that camera. Well, bought a few things off Temu now. 100% of them have been parts for guitars. And I know I said I wasn't going to deal with them anymore, but this is what I get for going back on my word. This is really what I get. I guess you guys can tell where the story is going. Most of the stuff that I got, like bridges and tremolo systems, this neck is from Temu. And again, it's something that needs a little bit of work, but overall, it's serviceable. It's okay. Um, this is the camera that I got from them. It's a HD 1080 pixel camera. And it has the ability to run an external microphone. It actually has two lenses that came with it. And I decided to myself once it came in, well, I'll give it a shot and see if it looks okay, it looks all right, you know, considering what I paid for it, I said, okay, fair enough, it may work. So I set it up, charge it up. It's USB charged. Charged it up, got it set, ready to go. Started recording, and I'll turn it on so you guys can see this. I don't know if this will show up, but what's happening there, what you're seeing, is the camera recording upside down. So when this records things, it turns it upside down. It records upside down. This camera. Not only that, but about 5 minutes into recording, so I'm saying to myself, okay, it's obviously got to go back, but let me try to see if I can do something with it, today. And and so and so about 5 minutes into the video, I started noticing that the audio was not syncing with as the video went on, the audio started to desync. I have no idea how that could happen. I that to me, thinking about it, I've been pondering upon it for a minute. I have no idea how it's recording in sync in the first few minutes, but the longer it records, the more out of sync the audio gets. Temu. So I tried to record a video today, testing it out, and I did edit it. I had to, of course, rotate the video and then resync the audio, which is two more extra steps that you just don't want to do. Believe me, when you're editing, it's not a major thing. They're not major things, but you know. And I put together a video. I am not, but the thing is, and then that's the major thing about it is it says it's 1080, which is good enough for YouTube. Uh, Generally, that's okay for these quick little videos that I'm doing. 1080 will do. It looked like nah, not 1080, not even close. I don't even know, the things in the background were severely out of focus. The depth thing on this lens is just horrible, horrible. I absolutely don't know what this is for. And so, in any case, back it goes. I did try to film something with it. I will put that video out. It's not the best video quality, but the sentiment is there. But I tried to use this camera. But my God, this is the worst video camera I've ever come across in my life. It's almost a joke. It's almost it's borderline on Fisher Price level. Do you know what Fisher Price is? It's an old toy company from back in the day. They made like, realistic phones. It looks like a phone, but it's made out of plastic or a fishing reel. Ever tell you about the time I caught a real fish with a fishing price of a toy fishing reel when I was a little kid? My uncle couldn't believe it. He said, "Oh, I'll just put a hook and a worm on this guy, the kid, just keep him happy, make him think he's fishing." I actually caught a fish. It was like three. But this thing is definitely borderlining on Fisher Price toy quality, and it's funny to me. I don't. It's good. I'm gonna send it back. You know, and use that credit to get the next disaster. Um, but that really is when you start talking about the quality of electronics on Temu. This is the first electronics thing that I bought, and it'll be the last. I generally shy away from electronics when it comes to AliExpress or Temu, things like that. I thought I would give this a shot, but that is just hilariously bad. Records upside down, and the audio falls out of sync. Temu quality all the way. So yeah, I will be putting that video out. I just did a quick little talk about the P90s in my Epiphone 1998 Unsung Factory P90 Gold Top that I have, and I just talked about my thoughts on P90s. You know, I've been on such a humbucker kick for the last decade or so that I never really paid. I mean, I've had P90 guitars, plenty of them, quite a few, several, but I never really gave the P90. I either liked it or I didn't, and that had more to do with the guitar than it had to do with the pickups. Um, and I never, you know, I'll get a humbucker guitar, or at least I used to. And one of the thoughts that I have is, after testing the heights of doing all the things, pole pieces changing, the heights of pole pieces, the heights of the pickups relative to the string, getting the measurements right on that so it's optimum, and determining whether I like them or not. And then I would start thinking about swapping them. I've got two, three sets of humbuckers loose here in the house. Set of burst buckers. Oh God, burst bucker 2 and 3. My set of pickups that I had made in Croatia, which are Japanese pickup clones, and a set of just cheap, ones that I pulled out of a Harley Benton. But this is all those things came out as a result of me going through a tone quest and trying other humbuckers. When it came to P90s, I never really ever gave it a second thought. I honestly had no interest uh, in swapping out P90s. And I can say that that is true with this guitar as well. So I did a little bit of a review of that, and so I will put that video. The video quality is just horrible, but I mean it's not great, but it's okay. It's serviceable. So I learned my lesson. Don't order from Temu. When I feel my thumb starting to hit that click button, I'll break it. The buy button, I'll break it. um, there's that. But one of the things that I have been looking at, and when I was sitting there on the couch thinking about, okay, what the heck am I going to talk about tonight? Um, is looking at the pedal market. We've been talking so much about guitars, and every now and then I mention the pedal market. But I am really shocked about the Boss IR2 pedal. The Boss IR2 pedal is like crazy hard to find right now. I'm not kidding. There is a waiting list in almost all places here in the Netherlands, and that also in Germany, including Tolman, have a waiting list that puts you somewhere around mid-July that you may get it. That you may get it, and that's if you order now. If you get your name on that list, and that is mind blowing to me because wow, I expressed an interest in that pedal, and I thought, oh, it's a Boss pedal, so there's certainly be no shortage of that. I mean, I went to my local shops looking for it this week, last two yesterday, and uh, another shop today actually, and they had a host of Boss pedals, like super distortions, tremolos, you name it, compressors, not a hide or a hair of that IR2 to be seen anywhere. So online, it's a bust. Just walking around, hitting the shops, it's a bust. So that is amazing to me. I know somebody out there in our community mentioned that they had one, and I'm quite impressed that you jumped on that. As a matter of fact, that seems to be the common theme when I read on Reddit about it. Is people say, "Oh, I got one because I jumped on it the minute that I heard about it." Everybody else is on, that's interested is contemplating back order like I am. But then I says to myself, well, Mike, it's Boss, and there are not going to be a shortage of Boss pedals available in Japan, and chances are I'm 80% sure that I'm going to be there in May. So that means that you guys will be there with me. I'll bring you along. Um, so I'm just going to hold off on it because I think I stand a better than even chance of finding one in Japan, and probably at a pretty good price. Won't have all the tariffs and things that you would get on it if you bought it here. And that also got me thinking about pedals in Japan in general. This right here, this dusty thing. Boy, I tell you, I dust this place because if I sit here and I don't dust, I start sneezing. Stephen, welcome, welcome. And so I keep everything, but I swear it's like the dust just comes up. This is embarrassing. I'm not going to show this until I give this a good dust. And that's why I got one of these, just so that I can go in here. Oh, that made it worse. The duster had dust. Just to go in here with these pedals and just gently dust them off in between, because I don't know what it is about living here, but this is one of the dustiest places I've ever lived. This pedal comes from Japan. This is actually an overdrive pedal, and it's one of a kind. It's a prototype from a small maker called Aya Tokyo, AYA Tokyo. Tim Pierce did a collab with them. So there's a Tim Pierce pedal that Aya Tokyo did. And it's just a one guy maker. So it's a one man show. And he makes these pedals. And sometimes with the prototypes, when he's trying to raise a little bit of extra cash, 'cause let's just be honest, he's a small pedal maker. He has a deal with TC Gaki, as you guys know. I strongly associate with TC Gaki. I've been dealing with them for a long time, and be very happy to see them again coming up in May, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Where he'll bring his pedals in and he'll sell even his prototypes and stuff sitting on the shelf, and they'll market accordingly. They'll let you know, hey, this is a prototype pedal, but this guy has got a good rep, and so I picked this up. And I made the mistake. I was setting up my board. It's my favorite overdrive. This is probably my number one favorite overdrive. It's got a high and low pass filter built into it. That's incredibly useful in shaping your tone. Ben Allmark. Mike, I bought that 25 Joyo American pedal you advised. Even if it's a one trick pony for 25, you can't go wrong. Is it a one trick pony? No, because one thing that I like about that pedal is it stacks well with other pedals. I was running my Klon copy into that pedal just to kind of give it a little bit of a boost, and also my Nobles I'm sorry, the Nobles PRE1. Um, I had it running after that, interestingly enough, to give it a little bit of a boost. And I do believe I recorded that way with it. Yeah. Um, it's you can it's got a lot of ways and things that you can do with it. You can clean it up, it pretties up really nice, and you can get really dirty with it. And it's my favorite one of the Joyo pedals, to be honest with you. And you can't go wrong with it. And so a gym like this, now unfortunately, I broke it. Dewey, hey sir, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the house. Everybody's here. I'm so glad that you guys made it tonight. Thank you. Even though I forgot, at least you guys didn't. I honestly forgot. I was sitting on my couch. I was like, holy crap, you've got to do a live stream tonight. What are you thinking about dinner? So, yeah. But I was setting up my pedal board, and I have a 12 volt line on that. or is it 18, 12 or 18? No, I'm sorry, a reverse polarity on that. And I got mixed up with what I was wiring, and I plugged the reverse polarity into this one, and you can imagine it kind of fried it a little bit. And my pedal guy is just MIA. I don't know where he's at. I'm gonna have to talk to Fern and see if there's somebody else, because I'd like to get this in. There is actually a shop that I can send this to. They'll diagnose it for 25 euros, and then they'll consult you how much it'll cost to repair it. Um, I'm thinking about using this, so I don't have to ask for it. I do know another option that I discovered. I like it so much, I think it may be worth spending. Probably going to cost about 75 euros to repair. But ouch. But you know what? It's one of a kind, so it's worth doing. But you can find gyms like this, pedal shopping in Tokyo. Everybody's always talking about guitars and talking about all the different guitar shops. People very rarely talk about the pedals. Now, you want a real Klon? You can find it in Tokyo in the shop, maybe one or two of them. You want to get the Klon. What was it? The KTR. So the secondary Klon copy that Finnegan came out with. You can find that by the handfuls in Tokyo for very cheap. As a matter of fact, that is also I sat down and I made a pedal list, a list of pedals that I am going to try to obtain in Tokyo. Now the KTR, it'll be cool to run that KTR against my one-to-one Klon copy that I have in there. Just it's a good one. And see how that goes. And of course, the KTR is not something that I would be interested in holding on to, but if I get it back over here to Europe, trust me, it will go very quickly. It will find a home. So the KTR is also, along with the Boss IR2, the KTR is also a pedal that's on that list. Steven says, I would like to build a pedal board. Well, Steven, I've done pedal board videos before, but I am always open to talking about it a little bit more in another video. So stay tuned to the channel. Maybe I'll talk about that. Building a pedal board. I mean, pedal boards can be built relative. It's interesting. The thing that's getting to be more expensive than the pedals is the pedal board itself. That's the thing that never ceases to amaze me, is the prices on my pedal train board. That thing now is like 80, 90 euros, and it was half that when I bought it. You want to go up from there and get a bigger one, then you're talking 200, 300 euros, and it's crazy. And the pedals themselves, Stephen, can be had very cheaply. Here is a Harley Benton Dr. D pedal. So this is a Dumble style pedal. That's a copy. The circuit is a copy of a company called Aroma. And the Aroma is a copy of another guy's pedal. So you see how these cheap pedals are all the same circuit. They had these for a short while, and then they discontinued them. I don't think they. I don't think. I know they don't have this Dr. D. They put out a few of these, and of all of them, this was one of the better ones. This is the only one that I held on to. But even at that, it was 25, maybe 20 euros. Very inexpensive. So putting pedal boards together, don't let it be daunting because of price either, because it's going to be the pedal board surprising them. And then in that case, if you're really handy, you can build it out of wood yourself. Angus in the house. I tried a clown at Ace Music in Santa Monica, early 90s. I know Ace Music very, very, very well. You and me, man, you know all my spots. That's so funny. I haven't thought about Ace Music in a long time. They only ordered one as a joke to see if anyone bought it. Even then, it was very expensive. I tried it; it was okay. Yeah, it's not, it's not going to turn you into, Eddie Van Halen. That's what it does is, it it adds, much like the original breaker, I guess the new ones, the reissues as well, it adds a very subtle lift to things. Some people say that the magic of the Klon is when you get it, when you turn up the drive on it. Um, I think that, yeah, that's true. There's something to that. But just when you have the drive turned all the way down, you've got the middle knob right in the center, and you got your volume just kicked up a little bit just to give it a little bit of a boost. It adds a clarity, especially with Stratocasters. It works really great with Strats. E- EHS Soul Food is a great clone copy. I agree, Lincoln. I've tried the Soul Food. I tried a lot of clone copies at one point. If you go through the history of this channel, look at I've gone through quite a few. The one that I got was a complete luck. It was a complete luck. Lincoln, I agree, says Ben Allmark. Stephen gives a happy face. Stephen again says, "Yeah, I do a lot of church style music and just figure it out." Yeah, KISS. Keep it simple, stoner. I guess we could put the last Jew. Well, I don't know if you're a stoner or not, but we can keep the last S off there. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. In this case, I guess we could keep it safe and simple. Um, that's my always advice. I see these guys who build these pedal boards. It looks like a chunk off the Death Star. It's like, what the hell? It's like something out of the George Lucas Studios. I'm like, what the hell, man? I think you completely missed the point of this. They'll blind you. Angus, I also tried a Dumbo Overdrive special at Ace in '87. Yeah, Ace, man, I just didn't know what I had. And that was one of those places that I spent a lot of time at. And yeah, we're going down memory lane because, of course, we're talking about the '80s, and the fact that you remember so well shows you how well which one of us is a stoner. Just kidding. A solid amp, but the owner of the shop offered her 10 grand for it. The Dumbo owner laughed and wheeled the amp back into his 928 Porsche. Hey, that thing is worth multiples of that now. The Klon is a good transparent pedal. Yes, that's its main purpose. So I tried quite a few, but so yeah, the KTR. So that's on my list of pedals to look at while I'm in Japan as well. Um, I think that again, a lot of people focus in on the guitar market over there, and as well they should. Boy, my agent sent me pictures of the 1980 Yamaha Studio Lord that I just bought, as well as the Fender 62 reissue jazz bass 2002, 62 reissue jazz bass. And those things are clean, 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 clean. Unbelievable. In the bass, in the case of the Fender bass, the reason I bought it and I got it at a discount because I said they wanted 50 Goman Hasen yen. I said I'll give you Goman for it with its original Fender gig bag as well. Both and with the SL, the Studio Lord, that also has its original case and case candy. Clean, clean, clean. Everybody talks about how clean the guitars and instruments are used in Japan, and rightly so, but they don't talk about the pedals. They don't talk about the fact that the pedals are you want to talk about you, and I'm not talking about current pedals. If you want to get an original fuzz from if you want to get Hendrix fuzz, those are available. Fuzz face, those are available. The real deal. I'm saying that with your vintage pedal hunter, or if you're looking for the latest things, so if you're looking for a Hendrix fuzz face, or if you're looking for the new Boss IR2, Japan is the place to be, man. And you can go online and look and order. Now, pedal's not the same thing as buying a guitar. I can understand the hesitation from wanting to purchase a guitar and the cost of it involved in shipping that over, but a pedal comes in a relatively small box. And so if you're really out there now, and also keeping in mind the exchange rate as well. In the case of me with euros to yen, it works to my advantage, so it's even better for me. So, in dollars as well. So you really, should take a look at that. Is the course of the conversation I'm trying to take us on tonight? Just to point you guys in that direction, to open up your minds to looking at alternate places to look for things. Because again, they have vintage to current day stuff there. And all of it is in, okay, the vast majority of it, more than you would imagine, are in excellent condition. So there is that. What else? Two redacted statements from Stephen. Okay, so we move on to Angus. I like transparent pedals because I like pushing slightly gritty amps into clean overdrive, not metal overdrive. Yes, I'm a clean overdrive. I'm, a slight overdrive guy, but mild overdrive guy myself. And frankly, with my Laney, with the gain already built into it, even at you put the gain on that thing at 3 or 4, you're cooking. You're okay. As a matter of fact, in the opening I did for the video that I shot for regular content, I was just messing around on the guitar, just singing my songs and playing around. I started singing Prince's "When You Were Mine," and I just love the way it sounds in that Laney, the way that it. Yes, I'm singing, playing a Prince song, and the opening of that. I hope you guys don't rip me too much on that, but I love the way it just digs into it. It just sounds so good. And so I really didn't need any pedals on that. And it's already got grit. I like an amp just on its own, actually, but the Klon would be or KTR or something similar to that would be the next step. Um, if you get an old EP3, I had that for a long time. That does the same thing as well. Yeah, in a little bit of a different way, but it does it really well. Just gives you a little bit of a bump. Michael Watson, love that song. Well, I don't know if you're gonna love the way I did it, Michael. I was just in the moment. I was just sitting here, and I what I do when I do the demos, I say, okay, I really just want to talk about P90s in general and my impressions of Epiphone, early Epiphone P90s, and versus humbuckers and that kind of thing. And I'm just sitting there just playing, and so I'll run the camera and I'll just noodle and I'll pick a part that I like. I say, "Oh, that's good enough," and I'll use that. And I started for some reason started playing Prince songs, and I got into "When You're Mine." I started singing it as well. Usually I just play, but in this case, it's singing and playing. So that's how that came about. Steven, have you seen the Boss IR2, and would you ever try? Well, that's what we've been talking about, Steve. We've been talking about the Boss IR2. It's how we opened up tonight. Is saying that over here in Europe, it is unobtainium actually. There's a waiting list. If you put yourself on it now, you may get it in mid-July. None of the stores have them in stock. I know a store down here, about 10-minute walk, that has no problem, Steve. No problem. No problem rehashing it. I'm trying to stretch this one out tonight because, like I said, I didn't remember I had a live stream, and I've got to stretch this topic out for the next hour. So you can ask that question again, actually. No, they're just not available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it off onto my trip to Japan, where I'm again more than confident that I can obtain one relatively easy and at a good price, at a good exchange rate. I don't have to pay the VATs and things of that nature. And it's a list of pedals that I've decided that I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy a Boss IR2. I'm going to buy a KTR. Interested in running a head-to-head against a KTR because that's about the closest thing I'm going to get to having Klon here in the studio against my Klon copy and see how that holds up. But those things are so popular, like I said, that's not even a risk of money. If I buy that, I immediately know I can flip that. That's something I'm planning on flipping. It's a demo and then demo flip. Um, Third on that list of pedals that I'm looking for, actually is the Boss Space Echo, another Boss pedal. That really nice one that they came out with about 2 or 3 years ago. I'm super interested because that thing, I have a use for that style of delay. Like I said, the emulations on that are supposed to be pretty good of a tape delay. I miss my tape delay that I had in my EP3, but not sorry that I sold it. But because it would just sit here and gather dust otherwise. But for pedal version, something that works really great, the Boss Space Echo, the more recent one that came out, the pretty high end one, is something that's third on that list. Margie Z, ask it again. That was funny. Steven, how much money would I spend, do you think, to get a good overdrive reverb delay pedal? I know the Boss R2 is $199 United States. Well, again, I hate to drop the news to you, Steven, but the pedal gas thing is worse than the guitar gas thing. And once you get started, you're gonna, I'm gonna try to take this one and maybe flip it off so that I can get this next thing that's coming out because I want to do is you're gonna start experimenting. Now, I always say the safest place to start experimenting is with the more inexpensive, the cheaper pedals, the inexpensive pedals, like the before mentioned. Even though it's a cheap pedal, it's an awesome pedal that you'd find on a pro boards that Joyo American Sound or stuff like this. You know, and I would stick with Moore. I would stick with Joyo. I would gas pedal. Margie, you're just on a roll tonight. I didn't gas pedal. I didn't even realize that one. That's a good one too. Uh, you're cracking me up. Um, yeah, yeah. See, you don't want to have to, Stephen just said I went to the Guitar Center and came home with two guitars and explained to my wife later. Yeah, yeah. I got a famous story. I told you when I was in Singapore, I had a Dan Electro, and that I tried it out, but it just wasn't a guitar for me. And this guy bought it from me, British guy. We met at the local mall in my neighborhood and did the handoff. And he said, "Yeah, I've got to get home before my wife does, so I can hide this." I was like, "Wow, that's something. That's real." So good luck. But with pedals, you don't have to worry, because again, you want to stick with something inexpensive to start off with. There are inexpensive pedals out there that can be had. I was gifted the Little Heat pedal, and that Little Heat pedal that I was gifted so kindly here is on my board right now as we speak, and will not ever be leaving my board. That Little Heat pedal, gosh, who makes that? Is that an aroma pedal? Anyway, the Little Heat pedal was a limited time thing that was done out of Albertsons Andersons over in the UK. Just a limited time pedal, not not expensive pedal. Again, much like the Doctor D there, and the same size. As a matter of fact, it's the identical size pedal as this, so you get an idea of the size of it. That they did in collaboration. Tone City, that's right, the Tone City Little Heat, with a very well known guitar player over in States, and guitar shop owner, and that is the finest overdrive that I've had. I don't think they made very many of them, and they never come up for sale in the secondary market. So I am truly, truly happy and blessed that it was given to me. It's just a blessing. But it's not an expensive over, and I'm blown away by it. It's taken the place of several things. It really has. That thing cooks, so especially with single coils, again, when I want to grab that Strat and plug it in, I know that I can get that grit out of it not dissimilar to what I get out of a Laney and those P90s or humbuckers. Uh, Bro, I really felt I got the best two sounding guitars in the store. To be honest, I don't doubt you. You know, sometimes they call you. I mean, gas is what it is. There's the reason we have it is because there's a calling to us. You know, we hear the call of the wild. We walk into a store and we're walking past a rack of guitars, and one of them goes, "Hey, come over here," and the rest is history. Well, your bank account is history. But it's just one of those things, and it's all right. Don't get too crazy with it, and you only got one set of hands, so you can only play one guitar at a time unless you got a double neck. So just keep that in mind as well. I always say, enjoy them, but don't let them, get to be an avalanche. Tone City, that's right. Tone City Little Heat. So I love that pedal. So number three on my list would be the Boss Space Echo, the most recent one, the tape delay. I'd like to. That's one for me. That's one that I want to have on my pedal board. The Boss and the two Boss pedals are the ones that are actually for me. The KTR, that's for flipping. But yeah, just a wealth of pedals that can be had there to your heart's desire, and again, because of the exchange rates, you could have them at a reasonable price. And boy, that's my thing. I have a hard time walking out of a store without a pedal. I can walk by the guitars and say, "Oh, that's nice," someday, I'll do that. But pedals, as you guys know, I have a problem with those. So I'm holding off. I'm keeping my powder dry, so to speak. I'm saving my ducats, and I will spend them in Japan, and I think they'll be spent more wisely. I think more productively. They'll certainly go a lot further. I get a 10% refund on top of that, because there's a VAT refund that you get. Usually they pay it immediately in the store, on top of the exchange rate. So all the way around is just something that I think that you might be interested in doing yourself. Just take a look at most Japanese music stores, especially in Tokyo. If you type in music stores in Tokyo, most of them have English websites, and look for pedals if you're in the market. And again, it's a small box. But pedals come in this size box. There's a pedal box, not a big thing. It's not like like it's not like that guitar box that I got coming, buddy. But and so this is a relatively easy thing to transport from Japan to wherever you are, and not taking a big risk on it as well, unless you got porch pirates, in which case I can't help you with that. I suggest a dog that barks very loudly when anybody even sets foot on the lawn. So there's that. I just throw that out there, guys, because I don't talk about that about places to buy that I think might be at this moment it's a buy. I think even online, I really do believe that pedals in Japan, looking at Japan websites for looking for pedals and things like that is a buy, because you got a lot of things working for you, and so to your advantage. And again, like I said, the quality are going to be pretty phenomenal. You're not going to have to worry about getting a dud. So, or somebody's, spilled a Coke on it and it's sticky, or, it smells like smoke. Well, smells like smoke. Not so bad. Most of the guitars that I used to buy in Japan used to have a slight smoke sheen to them, a smoky sheen, the whiff of cigarettes passed on them, and that's why I started doing the sorry about that. That's why I started using this wax, to because it's a fragrant wax. It's not too unsimilar to what Gibson does when they're finishing their guitars. That's why when you open up a Gibson case, it has such a nice smell to it. So not dissimilar to that, it adds a nice smell and it pretties up the guitars and gets it so that I don't have to have that essence. It's even nice on the skin. It's actually so beeswax with a little fragrance is so safe you can actually put it on your skin, no problem. And it lovelies them up. But I haven't had a lot of those lately. As a matter of fact, most of the guitars I have has no smell to them at all. Fortunately, because they're cutting down on smoking in Japan anyway, publicly. So that's starting to pay off. Amazon, you get good deals sometimes. They're a new pedal company and they got Walrus Sound and Vibe and pedals of that nature, 99 to 120 per pedal. Yeah, like I said, I would start with budget pedals first just to get your toe and just okay, what at least budget pedals that are based on decent ones again, uh, or brands like Walrus. Walrus is a great company. I'm familiar with them. But again, I wouldn't. On each individual pedal to start, I would set a budget of at least $60 US and no more than that. Maybe 80 top end. Try to keep it in that budget range for each one of them. And then your pedal board will cost you about $100. So four pedals and a pedal board and a power switcher, you're already talking about upwards to could cost you about, depending upon you go $400, or if you go on the low end, it costs you $200. So just have to see how you want to do it. Margie Z, one of my favorite pedals is the Cajon from JHS. I'm familiar with that. Long out of but I'm familiar with that pedal. The JSS man has great pedals. I had the Charlie Brown, as you know. I reviewed it here again in my search of finding a light overdrive pedal that the Little Heat, the Tone City Little Heat covers. Again, price really has nothing to do that, does it? Because there's a big price difference in those. And it didn't make the cut. But there have been other JHS pedals that I had the color JHS Color Sound for a little while. It replicates a desk, a recording desk. Yeah, that was a fantastic pedal, but unfortunately, it caught me at a time when I was moving countries, and uh, that one didn't make the cut, and I regret that. I want to get another one, but boy, the price on those things are just screaming. JHS pedals, some of the discontinued ones or the older ones are really pricey. They're not cheap. They're not cheap. Maybe that'll be my number four pedal. I'll see if I can find another one of those JHS Color sound pedals in Japan. I'm sure if I look around, I'll find one. Double barrel, yep. And the Angry Charlie and all the variations from there. Great pedal maker. There is another one. I can't think of it right now. That's number four on my list. Actually, there is a number four. Jeters, that Jeter pedal. God, what's it called? It's made by Jeter. It's an overdrive. It's a transparent overdrive pedal as well. Is it Orbit? Is that what it is? Jeter Gravity? I'm thinking something like that. Jeter Gravity, maybe something like that. But it's made by Jeter, and I'm looking for that as well. That's no longer made as well. So that might be something that I could find in Japan. But I'm setting a budget as well. The more pricier one will be the KTR. And can I look that up real quick? Is that something that I can type in here and give you guys a kind of an idea of what a KTR pedal will cost you? Let me see here. Is it coming up? Surprisingly, yes, right here. So, Klon KTR pedal. Now, let's take that and see how much that is in euros. So you can get a KTR pedal for about 550 euros. 550 euros. which is not bad when you consider if you go to Reverb and you look at the price of KTR pedals, they're a little bit more than that. And so, again, that's an attractive thing to me because, even if I buy it and if I sold it for what I bought it for, easily I could because they're going for a little bit more here. It's something that I can demo and move on and feel good about. So I had to budget that in. So yeah, the other ones, aren't that relatively expensive. Yeah, about €1,000 should just about do it, and I could probably get everyone on my list. And you're not going to do that over here with that list. So maybe a little bit more, but pretty close to that. So again, Japan, guys, I'm always talking about Japan. Right now, with the exchange, the yen being what it is, I think it's something that you need to look at if you're in the market to buy, even if you're buying online. It's got a lot going for it. So there is that. Um, yeah, I'm going to shoot some more documentary style videos with my awesome video camera. This is really the crappiest video camera that I mean, what does it take to load this thing up, to build it, put it all together, and then to make it so that it records upside down? And it's not an issue of the lens or being as or anything like that. It's just the way that it is. It's just, you know, and I don't get it. It puzzles me. it it it's one of those things that has me going today. Uh, That is really the shittiest camera ever in the history of mankind. It is borderline toy. So back it goes. Back it goes. And so that I will do tomorrow. And I will put that video out that I shot with it. Again, guys, the video quality is not great. Forgive me of that. Go Minasai. Sorry about that. But it's good enough to put out there. I've done worse. But you will not be seeing me use this camera. And until I find out how long it's going to take for me to have my number one camera to get into a shop, I've got to find a shop. My local guy's closed now. So that's not good. I've got to find an alternate to him. And then how long is that going to take for them to repair it if they can at all? And so I'm going to put this video out only because it's been so long since I've had regular content, and I'm just desperate to have something up there. So I am going to put it up anyway. Review of my P90 Gold Top from '98. So again, forgive me of the video quality on that one. It's not so bad, but a secondary camera I can use, but again, like I said, the audio quality it then falls into it. So maybe I won't be having regular content here for a while. It may be another 2 weeks or so before you see me film something, which is okay. I'm hoping the timing of my new camera coincides with the incoming of the before mentioned guitars, the 1980 Studio Lord and the 2002 Fender bass, because there's a lot I like to do with those in terms of sharing with you guys. So we'll see. But that's what's going on with here. I'm just, I'm just disappointed. And I hate disappointment. Just one of those guys who just doesn't thrive on disappointment. And I'm sorry that, well, I mean, I got it so cheaply, and I'll get my money back because I'm certainly sending this back. But I really had hoped that this would help so that I could at least have some kind of a backup going for me. But the secondary camera is good enough for doing an unboxing video. So if worse comes to worse, I can at least do that. So that's what's going on with the regular content on this channel. So please do check it out when I upload it. No, I'm not doing it tonight. I'm going to bed. But please check it out tomorrow when I do upload it. Please do take a look at it. Hit the like button on it. Take a look at it. and dig the P90 sound of that guitar. What else is coming up here? We have our Saturday night live stream, which probably I should start planning for now. At least I forget that too. I still can't believe I was sitting there on the couch. I was like, "Oh crap, you have a live stream tonight." Usually, I'll put it up in the morning, what it's going to be, or the day before even. And today, you guys barely got notification. It was weird. That Monday holiday here threw me off. I hate holidays. I know it sounds weird, but I don't like breaks like that in my schedule. Saturday is Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, but Monday's Monday. And if Monday's a holiday, it always throws me. I know that sounds weird, but that's the kind of guy I am. I guess I'm a workaholic to some extent in that regard. All right. Somehow I have stretched this subject out to fit. Actually, I didn't stretch it out. I don't think there was a lot of filler in there. I was actually giving my honest opinion on the subject and advice for you guys to check out. Check out Ishibashi guitars in Tokyo. Check out my friends at TC Gaki. They have an English website. If you're in the market, take a look at Japanese websites. Take a look at the stuff that they're offering. And again, for small packages like that, I don't think you're taking too much of a risk. And I don't think that if you're living in the States, you don't have to worry about VATs. But if you are in a European country, the VATs aren't, if anything at all, they're negligible. So that's one of those things that I recommend to you. I honestly believe you should take a look at it if you're interested in the pedal market. Because Japan is not just the mecca for guitars and basses, it is the mecca for pedals. You know, every pedal in history either started in Japan or wound up in Japan, and somebody's got it for sale somewhere. So at a price, but the prices are good now. So take a look at that, guys. That's my discussion for tonight. I'm back in the market for pedals, but not this market, not here. Actually, in Asia. So take a look at that if you are so inclined. I thank you so much for taking the time to show up and watch this live stream. I would be remiss to remind you, if you do want to show more support for this channel and you haven't done so, go to bandcamp.com and take a look at my albums, Asanoki 1 and 2. And if you purchase an album on Bandcamp, our Asanoki albums, you are directly supporting this channel. Every dime from sales of those albums goes directly into buying cheap Temu cameras like this. So it's money well spent, guys. But please do. Honestly, though, it does go into buying microphones and lights and things like that. So support this channel. Plus, you'll dig it. It's good music, and I feel it's fair exchange. It's a good value music for a good value for a good value money that you worked hard for. So take a look at that. Support this channel, please, guys. Take a look at that. Thank you guys for showing up. I thank you for taking the time to watch this live or in the rerun. Put your comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I will check you guys in the next one. Bye bye.